When we learn to trust ourselves and trust the universe and the process, miracles become natural, miracles become effortless. Hello gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So in today's video, I want to talk about trust. I want to talk about our relationship with trust, trusting the universe, but most importantly, learning to trust yourself. This is a question that I get asked time and time again of, Emma, how do I trust the process? How do I trust the universe? And how do I trust that everything's going to work out and that my desire is going to manifest? So this is the video for you if you have been struggling with trust and want to really deepen your trust muscle in the manifestation process. But if you're new here to my channel, then welcome. My name is Emma. I'm an award-winning life coach, 3 times best-selling manifestation author, law of attraction YouTuber here on my channel, and I'm the host of the #1 spirituality podcast on iTunes, Aligned Abundance. And here on my channel, I cover all things law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality, and self-help. So not only do I really hope you're going to enjoy this video, but the abundance of videos here on my channel over the last 10 years. So let's talk about trust. I think it's a common misconception in the manifestation sphere when people say, I just need to trust the universe. How do I trust the universe and trust the process? I myself have struggled with this so much over the years. Trust and surrender have been like the #1 lessons for me in my own spiritual and manifestation journey. From being an ex-controller to being a Virgo, it's in my DNA to not let go and not trust the process. But it was really interesting in my journey and unraveling of trust in the inner work journey, how much I really didn't trust and how that was actually really blocking me in the manifestation process as well. And it blocked me because if I couldn't trust the universe and trust the process and trust that everything was working out for my highest good, then how would those miracle solutions manifest into my life if that belief wasn't also there? So when someone comes to me saying that they are struggling to trust or they feel like they don't trust the universe, my #1 question that I ask them is, do you trust yourself? This was a question that was reflected to me during my trust journey, and it changed everything because I feel like we place trust externally. We feel like when we're trusting the universe, trusting the process, we're trusting others, we're putting that trust out into the universe. When, as we know, the inner always reflects the outer. So if you do not trust yourself to make decisions, to hold and sustain your desires, to manifest your desires, and, look after them, why on earth would you trust the universe? So your relationship with trust begins within. It starts with you. So I really want you to sit down and journal what trust with yourself means. Do you trust yourself to make good decisions? Do you trust yourself to manifest your desires? Do you trust yourself to hold and sustain your desires? Do you think that you are a good person to look after your manifestations? This will be really revealing, especially for those people who have a lack of trust with themselves. Now, once you've established any blocks, any limiting beliefs or fears around trust with yourself, we can then start to reflect it back outwards. I had a really terrible relationship with trust with myself, which I knew nothing about until I did those prompts. But then I started to look externally and I started to ask myself the questions around, did I trust others to support me? Did I trust the people in my life? Did I trust the masculine, for example, to support and love me because I'd been in really toxic relationships? And I realized that I absolutely did not trust the masculine or my partner to look after me, to support me, to hold me, to love me, all these different things. So I could see how trust had been broken in my life. I looked at how my trust had been broken in my childhood from caregivers and people in my life, and I could see, oh, this is why you're hyper independent. This is why you do everything for yourself and everyone because you don't feel you can trust others to hold and support you. So this was a huge epiphany for me in terms of learning to receive, which of course had a knock-on effect with my ability to receive abundance in my life, but it also really transformed my relationship with trust. I learned to unpick and unravel those memories, those traumas, and heal those through EMDR work, through the inner work that I put in my book, Hurt, Healing, Healed. And then it was time to learn to trust the masculine as well. So obviously I moved through that as I met my now husband, Alex, and went through that journey and my inner work journey. And I felt that afterwards, now I'm a completely different person. Like, I fully trust the universe. I fully trust the masculine. I fully trust myself to receive all kinds of abundance. And the abundance and level of like abundance that I receive, and aligned abundance, is huge now because I am that aligned receiver. It wasn't just me forcing and pushing and going 90% of the way. I allow myself to be met at 50%. And when we manifested this house a couple of years ago, that was really an indication of my trust muscle, where I was calm, I was trusting the process, and I was like, yeah, everything really is always working out for me. And I don't think I ever truly fully embodied that mindset until that manifestation of our house. So now, obviously that house was a couple of years ago, our manifestation, this one. Now, for instance, I'm manifesting some new roles in my business, and like there's big changes going on since we got married a few weeks ago. So there's huge change in my life happening on many levels, and I'm like manifesting some big stuff and having to trust the process. And I need those reminders every now and again because we're human and we're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Is this all going to work out? But I now have that toolkit, and I now have that nervous system regulation, but also that trust muscle where I'm like, okay, every other single thing has 100% always worked out for me. Why wouldn't this? So I now want to share with you my top tips for building your trust muscle, because when you do build this, I am living proof of this, that you can navigate uncertain situations like curveballs, all those life things that happen to us, and navigate it from a calm nervous system, but also trust that you are supported, you are held, and that miracles and solutions will always manifest. And I actually want to share a message that came from Kyle Gray's book this morning. I pull an oracle message from his Angel Numbers book every single day. And the message was, change is only hard when you forget that you are God, and I think your spirit team are angels. Remember who you are. And I needed that message 100%, but I want to share that message with you as well, because we do forget who we are. And I was like, yeah, I'm a badass manifester. I'm a badass manifesting queen. Of course I can manifest the right people. Of course I can manifest those solutions. Like, when have I never been able to do that? So the first pillar to building trust with yourself and the universe is building that trust muscle. And I believe the first pillar to this trust muscle is lived experience. If you took someone who'd been manifesting for one day versus 20 years, the level of trust in the universe and the process would be very different between those two people. So I do believe that through time and through lived experience, your trust muscle will naturally build through seeing trust in action. So what I would love to invite you to do is to write yourself a trust list. So all of the times something impossible happened, a curveball happened, something crazy happened, and you needed a miracle, you needed to trust the process that it was all going to work out. And I want you to write down those examples of those times where the universe met you, miracles came, solutions presented themselves, people magicked out of nowhere, and you were like, oh my God, this is the perfect person to help me with this, or this is our miracle. I want you to write all of those things down. Maybe you've manifested something that felt absolutely impossible. People told you it wasn't possible, and against all odds, you manifested it. Anything that felt impossible, anything that felt hard, anything where you were hit with curveballs, no's, rejections, and you still manifested it. This is your trust list, and you're going to keep this list, add to it often, obviously, when things come up and you remember things, and reflect upon this list in your moments of wobble, in your moments of, oh my God, universe, what the hell? Is this all going to work out? I want you to read that list so that you have your lived experience list, and to your subconscious mind, it can go, okay, the universe has met us before. We have always been supported. It has always worked out for us. So actually, yeah, maybe I could lean into that with this situation too. So important. I also believe affirmations and mantras are the one thing that absolutely supports me in these situations. So for instance, I love to repeat mantras such as, everything is always working out for me. The universe is for me, and so is everything else. Solutions always come, solutions are always met. When we manifested this house, it was a big scary 2 weeks where basically it was all on my shoulders, on my income, of whether we could afford to buy this house. when you're self-employed, there are tons of things they don't tell you about until you're in the mortgage process. So it was literally trusting the process, quite literally. There was nothing I could do, nothing anybody else I could do. It was trusting that the right mortgage lender would give us that aligned yes. So in that 2-week period, obviously every day I was like, okay, there's nothing I can do but trust, surrender, and let go. And this mantra came through to me so clearly, and I want to share it with you because it's my mantra that I use for everything now, because it's just so calming and grounding whenever I repeat it. So the mantra that came through was, the money always comes, the money is always met. Somehow and in some way, if this house is meant to be ours, it will be. And I repeated that anytime I felt uncertain, anytime I felt doubt, anytime I felt those trust wobbles, and it instantly grounded me into, Emma, you know the money's always been met. Anytime you've needed money, anytime you've needed a miracle, it's come through. That's the time where I looked at my trust list. That's the time where I called upon those spiritual tools to be able to remind myself of that lived experience, but also that my spirit team are there for me. The universe is there for me. The universe is for me, and so is everything else. So the second pillar of your trust muscle is mindset. Now, once you've got your lived experience and you can see trust in action, it's also time to look at your mindset of whether there are any limiting beliefs, fears, or blocks that are stopping you from embodying a healthy relationship with trust with yourself and externally with the universe and everybody else. So like with me, I discovered that trust had been broken in my childhood, which meant that I didn't trust people. I didn't trust people to support me. I didn't trust people to be there for me. So how on earth would I have a healthy relationship with trust in the universe when that was the subconscious beliefs that were kind of running in that resonance underneath? So it's really important that you look at your beliefs, your relationship with trust in others, trust with yourself, to identify if there's any work that needs to be done there, which you can clear to fully step into an integrated, embodied relationship with trust, where you do trust things are going to work out. It feels natural to expect miracles, and miracles arrive as if by magic. So when we have to place our trust in the universe does ask us to leap. And I always say big leaps bring big rewards. Now, this is not me saying take uncalculated massive risks which could put you in danger. Absolutely not. They have to feel regulating to your nervous system, of course. But when we do take those big leaps into the unknown, and we're like, okay, I'm going to have to let go, trust, and surrender that this new season that's coming in is going to be even bigger and better, and everything's leading me to bigger and better, it does require our trust. So I always look at it as, when my brain's spiraling into that place of, well, what happens if it all goes wrong? Or, what if you're not met by that miracle? What are you going to do? I always reframe it to, when has the universe ever let me down? But secondly, what if it's all working out in my favor? What if this rejection, what if this no, what if this curveball is all designed to get me to exactly where I need to be? Maybe the very things that I've been asking for and manifesting, these things need to happen in order for me to fully step into that reality. And of course, it's hard to fully believe that sometimes in the moment. So it does take repetition. It does take, that constant reframing of okay, how can I trust? How can I believe that this is working out for me? What examples and evidence do I have in my life where this is working out for me? That's why that trust list is so important in those moments of wobble, because you will be able to show your subconscious mind of here's how it works out. So trust is definitely something that's built over time. Rome wasn't built in a day, but with the 2 pillars of trust, learning to trust yourself and looking at lived experience, and then obviously working through the belief and mindset work around trusting others and yourself, will help you to build a beautiful relationship with trust. It is absolutely possible. And as someone who didn't trust anything at all, I feel that now I'm in such a more grounded space where it does come naturally. And it was a pleasant surprise in the house buying process where I did just naturally trust, and I did naturally expect things to just work out. And of course they did, because that mindset was there. But it took time. It took inner work. It took all the unwiring of the unhealthy beliefs that I had and the restrictive beliefs, limiting beliefs that stopped me from fully trusting myself and others. So I hope that in sharing my experiences that helps and supports you. And of course, if you want to dive deeper into this, then I have topics on trust in my manifestation membership, which is a fantastic, affordable, accessible monthly membership setting where we dive into trust, let go, surrender all the time. And also in my book, Hurt, Healing, Healed, there is a 3-step process of hurt, healing, and healed to walk you through the mindset work, limiting beliefs, and help you to release those and step into the new positive beliefs that you want to. But journal down those prompts that I mentioned earlier in the video and let me know if these have helped you get started on your trust journey. When we learn to trust ourselves and trust the universe and the process, miracles become natural, miracles become effortless. And it may not always feel like that, but please let me reassure you, it can be easy. It gets to be easy. And that's a great mantra to adopt as well. It does get to be easy. It doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be struggle. We get to choose that it gets to be easy. Solutions get to meet us. So that lived experience piece is so important to help rewire your mind to see that you are supported by the universe, because the universe truly does have your back. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and what has resonated most with you in this video below. I would love to hear, but thank you so much, gorgeous souls, for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. And don't forget, you can also join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have an incredible week, whatever you are up to, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love.